time since you've called me back into your office. Tell me, do you miss my presence that much?
Well, perhaps. You're a very good listener and commentator whenever I receive new information from other agency members. This newest update came from Rick a little while ago. His new partner, Gamma, was able to download documents from Avalon's archives dating back centuries ago. Inside contains classified information that only a select few know about. These files chronicle the great events that took place between the Crusaders and the Draconian Empire. Rick guaranteed it to be a tale of epic proportions. Are you prepared, Miss Green?
Epic proportions? Yes. That does make me curious.
Very well. Prepare yourself for quite the roller coaster ride. The story goes as follows.
And so it came to pass that after the great priest and his band of heroes successfully defeated and sealed away Lilith, the priest returned back to his country where he was reigned immediately king, and they gave him a throne and set up his reign in the country. There, he met and reunited with his longtime lover, and after that, they soon wedded and became a royal family now, the first initiator of the royal family in the Nation of Light's kingdom. It was a harmonious occasion. Everyone saw it coming. It was like the great heroes welcome, and it was just such a beautiful marriage to see everything happen from this, like above which is like his two awesome sons, Apollo, and the other son's named Eios. They had a very close relationship, as brothers as could be. Apollo was the forefront fighter and warrior in the army, and he was a rarely respected commander. Meanwhile, Eios was the quiet, reserved researcher who always was curious about the world at large and always spent his time traveling to discover new things about life. He was like what you would call the forever learning student. I mean, to him, you learn something new every day. And then, one day, when the king was minding his business, one of the soldiers came to him and informed him of a terrible creature on top of the castle. And to his surprise, he didn't know what it was. However, when he looked up, he saw something he could never believe. It was a terrible lizard. Something what they would call a fire-breathing dragon of some sort. This made no sense because after the Shadow Army was defeated on Lilith's end of the battle, most of the monsters are supposed to be slain and disappeared from the earth. Something was amiss, clearly. Alright, so let's backtrack. The aftermath of what happened in that place between the heroes and Lilith turned out to be there was remnants of supernatural energy across the land in that place in the battlefield. There it infected the water, the air, and a lot of the vegetation there, which means there were animals in that place that drank from the water that was infected or filled with the supernatural energy that was during the aftermath of the heroes and Lilith. It was some led to good, other things led to bad. But the animals need the drink just like everything else, and so you'd be surprised just how much of a Pandora's box event this led into. And it wasn't just one group of animals, it was just all animals in that area were infected by this strange phenomenon. Both the herbivores and the carnivores were drinking from the same watering pool that had the supernatural remnants contained in it, supernatural energy contained in it. It was like one of those instances where people would say to themselves they did not see this coming. And honestly, I mean, who could blame them? But if you thought that was worse, it wasn't just the nearby animals that were infected with this water. No, we wish it just infected the animals, but no, it didn't stop there. Even plant life was impacted by the supernatural elements in the water. Yep, not even the plants were exempt from this. So when plants were supposed to bear their typical fruits and stuff, they instead grew pods of pixies that were flying throughout the area. And to make things even crazier, the tree barks and the plants from the trees gave rise to nymphs and elves to have a strange fondness and connection to the forest as their protectors. It was something that not even the most well-rounded scholars could even anticipate in 1,000 years, but yet here it is before their very eyes, these strange entities emerging from the plants and the trees of that area. And one could wonder, just when we thought the fighting was over, it just led rise to other entities that are competing for survival with the same resources as other humans. This was quite the strange world where all sorts of things, all sorts of creatures were emerging out of the woodwork, literally. Trees, plants, and bushes were giving rise to all sorts of different types of animate life. And this was beyond anyone's comprehension. However, luckily for most of the plant life, most of the plants there, most of the orcs or the elves or the fairies over there were very benign creatures. The only thing they wanted to do was just upkeep and maintain the forest and protect it. Yes, there were some good creatures that came from this, but that wasn't the same for others. After all, this managed to turn bad carnivores to even worse carnivores, like especially wolves, which now give rise to werewolves or lycanthropes, or whatever you call these things, the beastmen and the demi-humans. Yes, the howlers, the creatures of the night, they were the ones responsible for increasing the disappearance of livestock and stuff, which greatly distressed many farmers throughout the land. It was like the fighting came back all over again. Not just werewolves, but also terrible dragons across the land as well. This was making another ongoing war with the humans, and something had to be put in place to put a stop to this. This is crazy.
Whoa, Miss Green, that was beyond insane. Who would have imagined that the emergence of all those different types of creatures came from the aftermath between the heroes and Lilith's battle? I never would have guessed it was supernatural energy that infected the environment. The air, water and vegetation were primary victims.
It's just like dealing with the Hydra from Greek mythology. You cut off one head only for multiple heads to grow and take its place. Everything seemed to be going so well for the heroes once they defeated Lilith. Now, they have completely new threats to deal with in the most unusual way possible.
Believe me, this was only just the first of many instances.
I'm sorry, the first?
Yes, it shows us exactly what these tit-for-tat battles led to. Observe.
My apologies, Your Highness. But, I'm afraid our forces can't keep this up much longer. The beastmen and elven archers are relentless with their poison arrows. We'll have to make a tactical retreat.
Those filthy, vile creatures. They dare make a mockery of our nation's defense. If I had my way, I'd exterminate every last one of them.
Sire, is everything okay?
It's nothing, soldier. I was just having a maltangent, is all. All our forces to retreat. I prefer to have our men live to fight another day at least.
Once the soldiers retreated, this happened.
Father, this madness has got to stop. These creatures are wreaking havoc on our soul. They have strange otherworldly powers and abilities that jeopardize our way of life. They must be vanquished.
Apollo, what's gotten into you? That is not what this nation stands for. The nation of light is a nation of non-violence. If you want to end conflict, peace is the solution, not war.
Father, did you just say peace? You would make peace with those filthy walking abominations? That's absurd. Creatures like that are meant to be slain. This is a human world, and I intend to keep it that way since you defeated Lilith.
Enough, son. If we're going to end this ongoing conflict, we'll do it in a peace-loving manner, and that's final. Your ways will only breed more hostility and xenophobia. That's not the attribute this country needs at this time.
Very well, if you insist.
Apollo begrudgingly accepts the priest's method of ending the war. However, this was by no means the end of this discussion.
And so, the priest king concocted a way to find the most peaceful way to put an end to this ongoing conflict between the humans and the non-human tribes that are sparkled or salt and peppered throughout the lands of Zestria. Multiple non-humans gathered for some reason at the request of the Elf Queen herself. If this had to happen, best believe it was something of utmost importance to stand before Her Majesty.
All right, everything seems in place for the meeting to start. Now, we just wait patiently for the attendees to arrive. It appears they're arriving sooner than expected. Great seeing you again, Marco. I must say you seem to be holding up quite well for yourself, despite all that's happening.
If you say so. My tribe keeps getting attacked by these fear-mongering humans. If this keeps up, our tribe will be on the brink of starvation before winter arrives.
I completely understand, my friend. These humans are getting out of hand with their fear of the unknown. We, the Elven tribe, along with other fair folk, only exist to protect the forests from being destroyed. Our goal is to simply restore the destruction humans bring to our land.
Such hypocrites, they are. They call us savages and monsters, yet are the ones who destroy everything they touch. I say we go full force against them, before they cause any more harm.
Those were my exact thoughts as well. However, that all changed once I received an interesting message from a little birdie a while ago. It was a written letter from the Nation of Light's king asking for a peace treaty.
Wait, peace treaty? Why a peace treaty all of a sudden?
I don't exactly know all the specifics. If the king of that united region is issuing a peaceful resolve to this conflict, we should definitely heed the call. The only issue is finding a suitable delegate to go before the king to solidify the peace treaty.
That's simple. I'll go. What better way to settle a peace treaty between a king than with another king?
Your Highness, you actually arrived here personally? We'd all assumed that you'd be sending a representative in your place.
No, not this time. This meeting is our top priority, to actually make change in this world. Just like how the humans have their crusaders to protect them, You have we, the Draconian tribes, to protect you all. Isn't that right, Marco?
Yes, sir. Your tribe saved our hides during that last raid. We're absolutely loyal to you all.
Splendid. I'll address every issue regarding our relationships with the humans who frequent this area. I sense massive change coming from this.
At that moment, the Draconian King prepared himself to meet with the Priest King to finally settle the ongoing conflict. After a few days had passed since the other tribes agreed to the meeting, this happened.
Ah, I see you're taking your studies very seriously, Eios. How's everything been going with your research?
It's been coming together quite nicely. Our team just needs a few more details before we establish the nation's first encyclopedia being made public. I'm looking for something spectacular. Something worth being documented for the entire world to acknowledge. I just need to know what it is.
Well, you're in luck. That's exactly why I'm here. How would you like to document the first ever peace treaty our nation is forming with the other non-human tribes?
Peace treaty, you say? That's actually very noteworthy. Tell me, when will this peace treaty take place? I've always wanted to get a close and personal encounter with the non-human tribes. They are so much like us, yet many people still view them as monsters. I can't seem to understand the crazed paranoia regarding them.
Believe me, son, your brother and the other soldiers want them all exterminated. You'll never know how far the fear of the unknown would push people to go. That's why I want this meeting to be well documented and announce publicly that the hunting of the non-human tribes is outlawed in the Nation of Light. Which is why I believe your team would be best suited to travel with us to the meeting for us to actually get the chance to know and understand the non-human tribes better.
Of course, this is a monumental, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see and document history being made before our very eyes. I'll let the others know as soon as possible.
Yes, I knew you'd see it our way. The meeting will take place at the ancient Forest Temple, 3 days from now at noon. Be sure to notify all the other researchers about this insightful event.
I will, Father. That's the first thing I plan to do. I'm sure they all would be thrilled to travel with us.
As joyous as this news sounds, not everyone was happy to hear such progress being made. Once the king made the public announcement, many people, especially Apollo, didn't hesitate to voice their opposition against the peace treaty.
Have those two gone mad? Don't they care for the well-being of our citizens? This is beyond absurd. Calm down, Apollo. Remember your temper. It's alright. Once I'm king, I'll make the Nation of Light the utopia it was always meant to be. In our human world, I'll be regarded as the greatest king who ever lived.
And so the story set off with our heroes traveling on horseback to meet the heads of all the other non-human tribes in the area. This was set up to be a very monumentous occasion. They traveled a few days on horseback to get to their destination. And upon meeting at their supposed destination was a beautiful oasis filled with all sorts of lush green life and just abundance everywhere. Then, upon their arrival, there seemed to be a a cloaked figure who was already expecting and anticipating the arrival of the priest king and his acolytes. It was quite the interesting encounter. However, upon reveal, the mysterious figure turned out to be one of the elven messengers sent by the queen herself to, greet the new travelers.
Greetings, humans from the Nation of Light. I'm an elven messenger sent from Her Majesty the Queen to escort you to the meeting grounds. This is an honor.
No, the pleasure is ours, elven messenger. I'm Prince Eios of the Nation of Light. My adventurer alias is Hamp. It's a likewise pleasure to meet you too.
Whoa, that's actually the kindest interaction I've ever received from humans, so far. You're clearly a different breed, compared to the other humans we've encountered.
Honestly, it's nothing short of deplorable whenever we hear news of people committing heinous acts towards non-humans for senseless reasons. My goal is to document this historical peace treaty to ensure we put an end to the violence between the humans and non-human tribes in Zestria.
Incredible. I never thought in all my years I'd see the day I'd meet a human with such conviction to help our kind. You're certainly a rare breed indeed.
It's very relieving to see that there are humans that think different from what we've been introduced to. This is the sign of a new beginning. I'm Sylph, by the way. It's a pleasure to see my brother Ainsley opening up to you. He's usually very reserved and closed off.
That's great. I'm actually glad I came here to be introduced to this peace treaty. I'm now seeing everything about the non-human tribes being shown in a new light. With that being said, we vow to ensure that the Nation of Light views the non-human tribes in a completely different, yet positive light from here on out. We have so much in common, that the fear shouldn't even take place.
I agree, but it's not just the elven tribe that want to make this work. We're all waiting for great change to take place from this treaty. We look forward to your promises.
And so the priest king went on ahead to meet with the elven queen as the meeting continued.
And so, the sit-down meet and greet with the elven queen turned out to be quite the nice, harmonious occasion. There were a few laughs, similar takes on life, and just general enjoyment of each other's company. But let's get down to business. That's what they were all asking. Right then and there, the priest king wasted no time signing the peace treaty, and even made a guaranteed covenant with the other tribes that if any of us were to break, whether it was on their tribe or his end, there would be a madness curse placed on the lineages of whoever broke it. And so, with his guaranteed word, he instantly won the favor with the other non-human tribes. Yes, the priest king had quite the influence and respect even amongst non-humans. It was very, very nice knowing that he had that much connections and power. Well, at least he knows how to use it responsibly. That's what Eios recorded. And upon arrival, they returned to the Northern Lights country, where they were greeted warmly, and the priest king told his followers about the new peace treaty, and that the non-human tribes now had their own sect of Zestria, along with their own private sect. So, like, anybody that hunts them, each other is forbidden. So that right there was the start of history being made right there, as peace and mutual agreement was established between both the Nation of Light and the non-human tribes. However, there's always a wolf in sheep's clothing lurking in the midst. Observe.
Why, hello there, brother. How was the legendary peace treaty both you and father established with the non-human tribes? I assume it was an enlightening experience.
Why, yes it was. The world is much larger out there than we thought. Apollo, you have to travel with us on our crusades one day.
All in due time, Eios. All in due time. However, there's a few more things I'd like to know about your interactions with the non-human tribes. Did the Draconian tribe by any chance use some lizard people hypnosis to convince Father to make that covenant? Or was that the result of ancient woodland magic brought on by the elves? You can tell me all the details.
I'm sorry, what? Apollo, I can definitely assure you Father was under no manipulation whatsoever. If something was amiss, he'd definitely be the first to know about it. Besides, the Crusaders' light makes us immune to such parlor tricks. Seriously, Apollo, the non-human tribes aren't as bad as you think they are. You've got to be more open-minded than that.
I beg your pardon. Such rhetoric. I was only looking out for my dear father and brother is all. I'm just surprised at how immediately accepting you're all of this. Don't any of you see how strange this all is?
Please, the only thing that's strange here is your inability to let the past go. Both your father and brother have just made history and all you're talking about is skepticism. Seriously, do something with yourself.
Well, I never.
Look, Apollo, it's been a long voyage returning here. If you don't have anything constructive to say, then I must take my leave. Now, if you excuse me.
What a self-entitled little... Come down, Apollo. Come down. It's all in due time. It's all in due time.
Impossible. How on earth could someone remain so abstinent in the midst of worldwide progress? How could Apollo be so blind to the great things being done throughout Zestria?
It's unfortunate, Miss Green. However, this is the world we live in. You have to understand that in this world, it's impossible to assume that every person you come across is agreeable or easy to work with. Humans by nature are complex beings. When you've worked this job as long as I have, you'll see firsthand that not everyone is going to like, support or agree with anything you do for some reason. This story here is a textbook example.
But, this shouldn't have been a problem at all. Why couldn't Apollo just accept the change and let it be for the greater good?
Who knows? Perhaps the same reason why we have any form of conflict, arguments, feuds and disagreements within families, workplaces or society at large. One party thinks they're right, while another thinks likewise. Then, comes the inevitable conclusion that both parties can't be right. So, both sides go out of the way to prove that the other party is wrong. Thus, wars are started off that one simple fact.
But, you're right.
We're not dogs, Miss Green. If a dog likes you, it'll run up to you, jump on your clothes and lick you. Otherwise, it'll growl, bark and let you know not to come near it. Humans, Miss Green, are a completely different story. It's only people that can wear a mask for years making a person think that they're a best friend for years, all the while secretly despising said person and plotting their downfall.
Yes, that's true.
Also, you might not know this, Miss Green. However, in my field as a detective, I've truly seen just how complex human beings really are. You have no idea how many times we've had to solve a case dealing with difficult people. It would disturb you just how many people ended up spending the rest of their life behind bars or 6 feet under. Whether it was the wrong friendship, relationship or business partner, it was all because someone got caught up with the wrong person or people.
Whoa.
It's for countless reasons like this why you don't see me hanging around a bunch of people here at the agency other than you, Miss Green. You're the one I trust the most here.
Mr. Hernandez, I'm actually glad to hear you say that.
Now, back to the story. One day, a prophet called for the priest king on an urgent matter discussing his sons. This led to a myriad of events to transpire.
Why, hello there. It's been quite some time since last we spoke, Nicodemus.
Likewise. I've been wanting to see you and your family again, Your Excellency. I must say, you have done absolutely well with ruling your country, sire. It's not every day you hear of the ruler of a nation being both a king and a priest. It's quite a rare combination.
Why, thank you. I like being a unique leader for my people. So, what's the great prophecy this time? I assume that's why you're here, correct?
Well, you're certainly a sharp one. But, about the prophecy? Let's just say that it's better that you follow me to the temple. You'll find a familiar face there who will explain this situation to you better than I could.
Okay.
One short travel to the temple later, this happened.
Alright, Nicodemus, we're here. So, tell me, what's so grave about this groundbreaking revelation of yours?
You've done well, Nicodemus, for bringing him here. Thank you, but I'll be taking it from here.
It's been a long time, old friend. I bet you'd never thought you'd see me again, right?
Yes. Welcome back, Lady Elphys. You should have told me that you were going to be returning soon.
It's great to see you too, dear. But, I didn't come to stay long. This may seem sudden, but I've come to take you with me. It's time for you and the other heroes to enter hibernation.
I'm sorry, what? I don't understand, Lady Elphys. What do you mean by hibernation? What's supposed to be happening in order for us to hibernate?
It sounds unfathomable, but try to understand. In order for the prophecy to manifest, both you and your heroes must be preserved for the final hour to come. In the distant future, your ancestral son will need your guidance for the massive uprising to come.
Ancestral son?
I'm forbidden to discuss more, but unless you're there. Well, let's just say things aren't going to end well for neither the Crusader bloodline or humanity as a whole.
More monsters besides Lilith are going to surface, aren't they?
Yes. However, before you leave, you need to appoint one of your sons to become the next king of the Nation of Light. I'm morbidly ashamed to ask you to leave both your family and kingdom behind at such short notice, but this must be done.
No, I understand. This is something that must be fulfilled, no matter how bittersweet.
The maximum amount of time I can give you is an extra week from now. Will you be able to settle most, if not all, your accounts by then?
Well, I can't say for sure. We'll just have to wait and see what happens a week from now, won't we?
Yes, I suppose that's true.
Thank you, Lady Elphys, for at least being kind enough to notify me in advance on what's going on. After all, most people don't even know when it's their time to leave this world behind. But, this is going to be quite the story to tell the kingdom. That's for sure.
Yes, it's going to be the epic of the century. But, fret not. Nicodemus will remain here to help guide your current sons. He's the best of the best.
Yes, I suppose that's true. If Lady Elphys trusts you, then so can I. I'm counting on you, Nicodemus. Steer those boys in the right direction, especially Apollo.
Yes, Your Highness. I'll guide them with everything I have. Leave everything to me.
Very well. I'll see you exactly 1 week from now. Stay safe until then.
It was at this moment where the priest king had a lot to get straightened out in this final week.
Wait a minute, hibernation? So, these people are going to be taken up, like, just out of living their normal lives to be in hibernation for eons to come, all the while ascending into the heavenly realms. Like, we've heard bizarreness before, but this is ridiculous. But I'm just saying, it's like there must be some serious warfare, a serious battle has to be taking place in the near future for the true ancient heroes way back when to make their second appearance eons later, all the while resting in the heavenly places. Now that's a legend if I've ever seen one. That is like beyond awesome.
Whoa, Miss Green, can you imagine having a divine encounter like that? That's got to leave a lot for an individual to think about.
I agree. So much would be going through my head that I wouldn't even know how to process it all. The mere thought of having 7 days to settle all my affairs and appoint the next king of a country is nothing short of stifling. To think. Being told all of that and grappling with the fact that once I ascend, I'll return to a world where everyone I loved is dead and long forgotten to prepare for such a grandiose battle. It's simply too much.
It's a bitter pill to swallow, Miss Green. But there are just some hard choices in life that need to be made for the greater good of the world. I can only imagine the inner turmoil the priest king was experiencing, with him just now establishing a peace treaty and setting the stage to be a successful king to both his family and people. That guy was a special breed indeed. It says here that for the next few days, the priest king was silently preparing for his departure. However, things slowly began to unravel when the king summoned his boy to the base chamber.
Father, what is the meaning of this? It's not every day you summon your kid to the most sacred part of the kingdom just out of the blue. Tell me, what's the special occasion?
I'll explain in due time, son. First, there's something I'd like to give you.
Apollo was handed a heavy, golden sword.
My word, this blade is so heavy. Just what was this thing used for?
Do you like it? This was the same blade that was used to slay 900,000 demons in Lilith's shadow army. With the divine power locked in that blade, you'll become the most powerful warrior this era will ever know.
Yes, this is indeed a splendid gift, Father. I greatly appreciate it. I'll be sure to inform our forces on this little exchange of ours.
Sure thing, son. Just remember to use that power to protect and the protect alone.
Of course, Father. I swear, you all make me out to be a deranged power-mad lunatic at times.
Hey, you said it, not me.
Once the priest king finished his business with Apollo, he later sent for Eios to meet with him in the chamber.
Alright, the signs were blatant. I mean, this is a classic example, as no matter how good intentioned people's desires are, there are just some individuals that, no matter what, they do not need to get a taste of any high-ranking power. And here we're about to see why. Observe.
This is quite the unusual place to meet. Father, tell me, is everything alright? You've seemed a bit more reserved and busier these past few days.
I wish I could say everything is fine, but I'd be lying to you. I can't disclose much, but I need to know if you're willing to inherit the throne.
Inherit the throne. That's quite a great responsibility to place on someone on such short notice. Why bring this up all of a sudden?
Let's just say that due to unforeseen circumstances, I'll be going away for a very long time. In fact, neither of you will see me for the rest of your lives.
Father, please. What's the situation? Did something happen?
It's too bizarre to explain. I just need to know that if the situation demands it, are you willing to assume the throne?
I'm sorry, Father. I just can't. It's my life's dream to travel the world to see and discover the hidden mysteries of this planet. Ever since that peace treaty, you opened my eyes to so many people and places yet to be discovered. I'm afraid I won't be able to accomplish that goal if I remain in the castle.
Yes, I'm well aware of your insatiable desire for research and exploration, but anyone in this kingdom can see that you'll make a far better king than Apollo. I've tried for the longest to show him the path of peace. However, all he cares about is power and control. So if I can avoid having a ruthless megalomaniac ruling the country, I will with no questions asked.
Then why not appoint Nicodemus as his advisor and have it set up for Apollo to run drastic decisions by him first? And who knows, I believe that even in time Apollo can also change.
You know that's not a bad idea. Are you sure that you don't want to reconsider?
I'm positive, Father. Besides, Apollo may surprise us all, one day.
Well, I hope you're right. In that case, I'll give you this instead.
Gah.
What I've just given you was my anointing. The same power and healing that I received back then, I've now passed it down to you and those after you. Power and great success is guaranteed to come to you and those affiliated with you.
Father, that was a jolt to the system. I felt the power. It was overwhelming. I'm so tired right now. I believe after that I'm going to call it a night. Thank you for your gift, Father.
This is what started generations of one lineage carrying rulership, and another carrying the anointing.
And so this right here is what marked the causality behind one lineage inheriting rulership and a sword. A very powerful, mighty sword, as well as a respectable, actually, country ruling position. Meanwhile, there's another lineage that inherited the divine anointing. Like the power to heal, the power to make declarations and to bestow blessings and curses. That is like true, awesome power. No doubts.